Guys, King Crisis here. Welcome to What If Minato was sent back in time. With that being said, guys, I would like to give you guys a quick heads up. Minato will not be sent back in time all the way back to the point where he was born. Mainly because we do not know everything about Minato's childhood, aside from the fact that he developed the Rasengan in aid to help Kushina or some bullshit, but we don't know much about Minato's childhood, so I actually couldn't cover the story based around that. So instead, I decided to make one simpler change. I will not say simpler. Instead of Minato being born, instead of Naruto being born alone, he'll be born a twin. And Minato is just so happens to be reborn as Naruto's twin brother. So, with that being said, guys, here's where we start the story. The story starts off in the afterlife, where from there, Minato is seen watching over his family, that being Naruto, Boruto, Himawari. With all the events of regular Boruto playing out as they would have in the original timeline, a young Minato watched on. He began to grow a bit upset watching everything that played out within his son's life. And part of him was a bit disgusted seeing everything that was going on. A man would walk upward towards him. The man has glowing green eyes. He's tall, much taller than the likes of even Minato himself. He was massive, about 10 feet tall. The man looks towards Minato. Minato Namikaze, he would say, "Welcome. I believe you've been here for, a few minutes?" Minato said, "Yeah, those few minutes, years have went by on Earth. I've watched my son's entire life." The man would look forward. "Indeed. You were stuck inside of the Shinigami, battling the Nine Tails for thousands of years." Minato would nod. "It doesn't make any sense. He's tamed it, and he continued the battle against it." The man would sigh. "It's the curse of being put inside of the Reaper. Luckily, when Hagoromo undid the reanimation jutsu, you were sent here instead." The man would look forward. "Look, I'm gonna put it simply. I'm a god, and I'm giving you a chance to go back and to be there for your son. Although I cannot make you be sent back to be his father. Mainly because it'll be a little too boring and you will likely stop all the problems from happening." He looks forward. "I don't want that. I want things to be interesting. So I'm giving you an option and to go back and to be there for Naruto in ways that you probably couldn't even as a father." He looks towards him. "This is going to be your only option, Minato. Accept the deal or don't accept the deal. Honestly, it's up to you." Minato looks forward. "What about Kushina?" "Kushina would understand, and even if not, you will be sent to an alternate timeline. This version of you will still be here. Just you won't be here. An alternate version of you would. Same memory, the only difference is this one wouldn't take the deal. Kushina wouldn't notice a thing." Minato would look forward. "But even if I'm sent back, our enemies will become too powerful at a certain point." He would laugh. "I'm not going to be sending you back the same. Of course not." He looks forward. "You're going to be sent back as your son's twin brother." Minato just looks at him annoyed, a bit confused. Why? He explains that it's better this way. He'll be more of a big brother to Naruto. But you yourself know everything. You will have all the knowledge of your current self. You will be aware of the fact that Naruto is, for one, spiritually your son. Minato just waves his hands. "Okay, blah blah blah, whatever. I don't even care. Just, you're telling me you can give me a chance to be there for Naruto, whether it's as a father or brother. I don't give a fuck." He would say, "I want to be by my son, no matter what." He looks forward with a smile. "Good." He slowly lifts up his hand. "I will be sending you back, but with a little gift. Be ready when that gift comes. You're not going to really expect it. You're not going to know what's going to come. But just know you will not be going back as a normal being." Oh shit. The god will snap his fingers as Minato opens his eyes. And when he does, he sees Kushina holding him. And he sees beside him Naruto. As all this happens, he witnesses as his current self teleports him and Naruto out of there, where the events with his canon self will play out. Huge changes. He seals half of the Nine Tails inside of Naruto, and the other half inside of, Minato. He ends up naming his kids Minato Uzumaki and Naruto Uzumaki. The Hokage, or the third Hokage at least, would wonder, will this put Minato in danger, having your name? He claims it shouldn't. Just claim that he was named after the fourth Hokage. Make it say the kid was born a few days later, he would say. Simply put, no one would think a thing. Minato, are you sure this will be safe? Man, I don't know. Just take care of him. As Minato dies, Kushina would say the same words as in canon. Well, from here, Naruto's life and Minato's life will play out almost the exact same as Naruto's. The huge difference is, though, Minato is going to be a freak of nature, okay? Minato, from the moment he was born, was a demon, and Hiruzen and many others seen it. This kid was the definition of a prodigy, learning how to walk and how to talk in full sentences from the age of 1 year old. Actually, many people actually heard the kid being able to speak even before the age of 1. The kid wasn't strong enough to walk, but it could talk. It wasn't perfect. It was more like little dabbles, but it could speak from almost immediately. Minato was weird in the eyes of Hiruzen because Minato grew so quickly. His strength, his speed, he wasn't a normal child. By the time when Minato at the age of 4 years old, Minato has already developed the Rasengan. Although he managed to keep this secret from Hiruzen because his chakra was different. His chakra was open, and his chakra was much stronger than Naruto's. Well, from here we cut over towards him, meditating. As he calms his mind, he enters the mindscape where the Nine-Tail is. Kurama, without his red aura, calmly looks at him. "Hello, Minato," he would say, and he would tilt his head. "Which one are you referring to?" "I'm referring to you, old ass man." Minato's eyes would widen. "How do you know?" he exclaimed. "When I entered your body, I got a glimpse of everything. You were still a freshly born soul," he would say. "All your knowledge, everything that has went on throughout your life, I see it. I always see everything that goes on. And due to you being much older than what you think, than what many people around think you are, I saw everything." "Is your other half aware?" He would shake his head no. He would say, "Good. I don't want him to be aware quite yet. I want to actually teach Naruto. I want to actually train him for once." He would look forward. "You do realize that you being here will alter events of your son's life dramatically. Or should I say your brother's life? He's my son. No matter what happens, that he's literally my son. And I intend to make things right for Naruto," he would say as he looks forward. Kurama begins to smile. "Then by any means, we'll do so." They proceed to fist bump, with the version of Kurama that was in Minato's body already being aware of the fact that Minato not only defeated him, but he tamed him. So he doesn't even want to take the risk. And he knows that in the end, they actually befriended one another. So he doesn't waste his time on being petty or trying to have any problems with Minato, because at the end of the day, he knows that they become friends in the end. Well, from here, the next few years of Minato's life will go on, and Naruto still ends up struggling to control his chakra, but Minato ends up teaching him a little bit, well, the little bit that he knows about chakra control. And when I say the little bit, the insane amount of knowledge that he knows. He winds up teaching Naruto how to water walk, tree walk, and he ends up training Naruto in hand-to-hand combat. Naruto doesn't understand how his brother knows all the stuff that he knows, but he always knew that his brother was way smarter than him, leagues above him in knowledge. Every day they would train, and every day Minato put in so much effort into making sure that Naruto was that guy. Eventually, after they actually got done with enough training at the age of Naruto being 8 years old, where Naruto hand-to-hand combat, his speed, his chakra control was literally even to that of what I'd say his Shippuden self is, although it's not better than Minato's because, well, it's still Naruto. He's still going to have the weakness of the Nine-Tails holding him back. But he does wind up teaching Naruto how to activate the Rasengan. With him teaching Naruto how to use the Rasengan much earlier on than what canon Naruto develops, he then begins to work on Naruto's wind style. Many people don't know this, but I'm pretty sure, and I might be wrong, but Minato was a master of water style, wind style, lightning style, yin and yang style. That's 3 infinities plus yin and yang release. So being a master of all those nature releases, I'm going to actually put those to use, okay? Which means that Minato's going to be proficient with wind style, lightning style, and water style jutsus. And he's going to teach several wind style jutsus to Naruto. So wind style vacuum blast, wind style gale palms, wind style air cannon, wind style air burst. Like, you get the point. Like, he's teaching Naruto legitimate wind style jutsus, which Naruto picked up on very quickly. And after the next 4 years would pass and their training is now complete, Minato and Naruto decided that they're no longer going to hide their skills, because Minato made sure to make sure, no matter what, that Naruto always hid his skills. He even made Naruto lose at times in battles against Sasuke because he doesn't want Naruto to reveal his skills quite yet. Minato's very smart. He knows how the council is operating, and he knows everything. We cut on over towards a 12-year-old Minato, who walks into Hiruzen's office. Hiruzen looks at him and looks at him confused. "What are you doing here? It's your graduation ceremony." He didn't explain. He can get to the academy before the ceremony is over. After all, he is Minato Uzumaki, and they're likely going to put him last in a roll on purpose. Even though it's alphabetical order, he shouldn't be exactly last, but he knows how they roll. He looks forward. "Can I get my father's kunai?" Hiruzen will look at him confused. "Can you what?" He didn't explain that he wants his father's kunai. I mean, in all actuality, he can just grab them himself, but he doesn't want to do that yet. He looks towards Hiruzen. "Can I just please get the kunais? By any chance, could you tell me who your dad is?" Naruto just looks at him. My bad. Minato just looks at him, irritated. Hiruzen, "Give me the fourth Hokage's kunais." As he says this, Hiruzen's eyes would widen. "Wait, what are you talking about, Minato?" "Hello, Minato? Are you serious? You're literally calling me by my dad's name. Can I just get the kunais, man? I mean, I'm already letting the fact slide that you got me and my brother living in a hellish condition that we are already living in. We're the kids of the fourth Hokage and Kushina Uzumaki. We shouldn't be treated the way that we are," he would say. Hiruzen then would say, "What makes you think that?" And he just looks at him. "I'm the spinning image of him. Aside from the whiskers, I am literally Minato himself," he would say. Hiruzen remained silent. Not to mention, Naruto literally has the facial structure of our mom and the eyes of our father. "I'm no fool," he would say. "I am the highest ranking student within the academy for a reason." He then would say, "You already were smarter than your brother. But how come you never show off your skills? You're the highest ranking when it comes to test scores, but I know your hand-to-hand combat. I've seen you fight several villagers protecting Naruto. You always hold yourself back around the academy kids." Minato would roll his eyes and a bit annoyed. "Can I just get the damn kunai?" And he would look towards him. "Fine." Minato has now developed, he's developed a deep annoyance anytime it comes to Hiruzen, because Minato sees the way Hiruzen legitimately treated Naruto. And not only did he see it, he's seen it firsthand because he treated him the same way. He's annoyed by Minato's, by Hiruzen's mere presence alone. It bothers Minato. Minato would gather his kunais, and when he does, he gathers them all, taking a scroll where many of them were sealed inside, or a little infinite number of them were probably sealed inside of. He proceeds to weave hand signs, and as he does, he appears in a flash, right beside Naruto. He looks at him and would ask, "How are things going?" Naruto explains everything that's happened so far. Sasuke just went up to perform the Shadow Clone Jutsu. Naruto would sigh. "Do I have to fill it again?" Minato looked at him. "Nah, dude. Show off a little bit, bro." He looks at him. "For real? I can actually show off?" He would nod. As he does so, Naruto was then called up. Naruto walks downward. As Naruto lifts up his hand, "Wind style, elemental clone jutsu." As he says this, several wind clones begin to form all around the room. As this happens, the class would look on a bit surprised. As Iruka would say, "Did you just say elemental clone jutsu? Wind style?" Naruto would nod. I'm so confused. Like, what did you just do?" Someone would ask. "They just look like regular clones to me." As he says this, Iruka would say, "Well, a wind clone, usually when it is poof, it will explode in a burst of wind that normally knocks whatever poofed it back." Oh, so basically, it's a regular clone, but it can explode. Yeah, actually, that's dead ass it. That's kind of incredible, they would say. As they say this, Naruto would smile, as from here they would call Minato down. Many people in the class begin to look at Minato. Now, everyone doesn't view Minato the same way they view Naruto. Many people still doesn't like Minato, and they still hate Minato simply off the fact that he is the Nine-Tailed Shinchuriki, and he is Naruto's brother. But due to the fact of Minato having a much calmer personality, and he's much nicer than what canon Naruto is, not many people show Minato the same level of just insane hatred. Minato proceeds to weave hand signs. As he does, he will say, Multi-Shadow Clone Jutsu. Multiple shadow clones would form all around the classroom, where from there, the class would just look at Minato, a bit surprised. He formed even more clones than what Naruto did. As this happens, Iruka would say, good job. Well, from here, we will now time skip. Now, with Minato performing the same exact way he did in the original timeline, we cut on over towards Naruto, who's seen standing in the ring across from Kiba. Kiba looks towards him as he begins to laugh, as he exclaims that he's going to kick his ass. And Naruto just looks at him and rolls his eyes. Dude, sure. Or from here, Naruto cracks his neck. And as he does so, he rushes forward towards Kiba. Kiba would rush forward towards Naruto and immediately goes in for a punch. Said punch is countered by Naruto, who grabs his arm, flips him over, and then proceeds to slam his head directly into his stomach. Kiba's confused. He just headbutted his stomach. That's weird as hell. Why his stomach? What the fuck? He would wonder. Dude headbutted him in the stomach of all places. Naruto then proceeds to look upward towards him. You're pathetic. As he rushes forward, he proceeds to kick Kiba across the face. Naruto then will look towards Kiba and lets him know, you do not compare to me. Making it very clear that he doesn't compare to him, Naruto proceeds to grab him, slam him onto the ground, and then he proceeds to start pummeling him, just punching him over and over and over and over again. Well, from there, Naruto literally throws him out of the ring. Minato proceeds to walk forward as he picks Kiba up. It's coming, hey, you're okay? He's like, get the fuck off me. As from here, Minato, eyes would darken a little bit. But from here, we now time skip forward. The final match, Minato versus Sasuke. Minato looks forward as Sasuke walks into the ring. He looks towards him. Neither one of you have ever been able to beat me. Either one of you think you're going to stand a chance now? Minato looks towards him and just laughs. Sure thing, Sasuke, as Minato will pull out his kunai. As he proceeds to instantly throw the kunai towards Sasuke. Sasuke will dodge as Minato jumps to the side and begins to throw multiple kunais. Sasuke begins to dodge over and over and over again as he rushes forward towards him. As he charges forward towards Minato, Minato proceeds to jump upward into the air as he instantly weaves hand signs and proceeds to fire off a wind bullet. Sasuke dodges out of the way as the wind bullet ends up smacking into the ground. Minato then would throw a kunai forward again. Said kunai zooms forward towards Sasuke. Sasuke would dodge, but to his surprise, Minato vanishes and appears right beside him. He then proceeds to kick Sasuke dead across the face, and Sasuke goes skidding across the ring. He ends up successfully landing, not exiting outside the circle, as he looks forward and he sees Minato rushing forward towards him. Minato kicks Sasuke across the face before kicking him again, and then again, and then again, as in he would literally start pummeling him, punching him in the stomach over and over and over and over again. As from there, he would grab him and he proceeds to headbutt him, lift him up, and then he proceeds to throw him outside of the ring. The class sees it and they were just stunned. Minato just absolutely destroyed Sasuke like it was nothing. Time skip, baby. Time skip happening, y'all. Anyways, time skip. You now see Minato. Minato is seen standing up after he just bodied Sasuke. He walks out. With Minato walking off, we now cut on over towards Minato and Naruto. As they're both walking home, they overhear Mizuki talking. Minato ends up telling Naruto, hey, go home real quick. He's like, okay. Naruto ends up going home, and as he goes home, Minato listens in on the conversation. He would make a shadow clone. Says shadow clone would follow Naruto home. And from there, Minato would wait. And the conversation ends up ending, and as the conversation ends, Minato would wait. He waits on over towards the kid, gets to the Hokage's office. Well, from there, he ends up teleporting, literally placing a kunai on the kid's back without the kid ever noticing as he walked past him. Minato literally teleported into the kid's like right beside the kid who was already in the Hokage's office. He ends up covering the kid's mouth as he knocks him out. He ends up transforming into the kid, where from there he grabbed the sacred scroll and easily snuck out because he's fucking Minato. And once he sneaks out, he ends up arriving in the force of death, waiting. Mizuki ends up arriving, and when he does arrive, he ends up having the same little conversation he had in the original timeline. And then Minato ends up poofing, and when he poofs, reveals that he's Minato. He looks forward before saying, I don't even like the kid form, Minato would say, as he ends up tossing his kunai into the air. When he catches the kunai again, he's seen standing, using the transformation jutsu to appear in his actual adult form. He looks forward towards him, and Mizuki looks baffled. Why'd you turn into the fourth Hokage? Minato then looks towards him, and he cracks a little smile. That's because I am the fourth Hokage, Mizuki, he would say. And as he says this, Minato appears right behind him, kunai to the throat. Minato literally placed seals all around the forest because he got here way sooner than Mizuki did. So he got kunais all around the forest, and not even just kunais. He got kunais markings, everything. The entire forest is marked, and Mizuki freezes in his tracks. He doesn't move an inch, and he's like, "There's no way you're Minato." He then would say, "Are you sure about that?" As he says this, he proceeds to flex his chakra like no other. A bloodlust and a chakra just hits Mizuki with a power that he's never felt before in his entire life. The best way he can explain it to Mizuki, it's death itself. And Minato proceeds to drop his aura, drop his chakra, and he lets Mizuki just sit there traumatized. As bro starts to shake, Minato just flexed on him so freaking badly that he's traumatized. He then proceeds to literally place seals on him that sealed away his chakra. Minato then proceeds to drag him to the Hokage's office. When he does so, he throws him down, and from there he would look towards him as he then looks forward. "What are you doing here, Minato?" He then would say, "I'm returning this criminal. He tried tricking this kid into stealing the sacred scroll." As he weaves hand signs, and the kid literally teleports in there. Mind you, the kid's unconscious, so his unconscious body teleported into Minato's hands. Minato drops the kid, and he drops Mizuki, where from there he turns around. He then would say he requests some payment for this. He then turns, and "I need to speak with you now." As he says this, Minato proceeds to knock Mizuki out. Well, from there he looks forward towards Hiruzen. "I'm gonna need you to sit down for this because you're probably not gonna believe all of this." Hiruzen just looks at him stupid. "I'm already sitting down." "Nah, you're gonna need a more comfortable seat." He points towards the couch on the side of the room. "I'm gonna need a more comfortable seat." "Yeah, and you're probably not gonna believe me, but I did learn how to do a little something interesting, so you'll figure it out either way it goes." Minato tells Hiruzen to sit down. He didn't say, "First off, you did not keep your promise. You promised to take care of Naruto and Minato, and you have not done a good job at that." He looks towards him confused. "How do you know?" As he don't say, "I don't want to hear all that. You promised my mother and you promised my father that you would take care of us, and you've done a horrible job. You want to know why I know that you haven't kept your promise? Because I am my father." "What?" "I am my father. I am Minato Namikaze." "Minato, you are Minato Uzumaki. You are the son of Minato Namikaze. You are not Minato Namikaze." "No, Hiruzen. I am Minato Namikaze. We are one and the same. I am literally not even supposed to exist. This person you're currently looking at isn't supposed to exist. I died years earlier in the future. The Minato you see now, literally, the Minato you just seen die a few years back, he comes back as a reanimation. And guess what? He dies again. What is a reanimation? Oh, you don't know about that jutsu yet. Oh my god. Do you remember the jutsu that your old sensei Tobirama used to use that would random corpses spawn out of the ground and they used to battle? Yeah. Yeah, I became one of those. And I fought alongside my son, alongside you as well. Where in the Great and Fourth Chernobyl War, I died again. And I was sent back to the afterlife, where from there I watched over my son's entire life, and from here I was sent back to where I am. He looks forward. You don't believe me, do you? Minato would say, no, are you high? As, oh my bad, Hiruzen says this, but Minato would walk forward, his hand glowing blue with chakra. Well, he weaved hand signs, mind transfer jutsu. As he ends up transferring his mind to Hiruzen's mind into an empty void. They look around confused as Minato then would snap his fingers. Hiruzen was hit by a wave of knowledge and a wave of future information via Minato's perspective. It all flowed into his mind and he just looked stunned. All this knowledge, all this information, and it's true. He looks towards him stunned. As in he enters KCM to prove that he really is telling the truth, before instantly deactivating the form not to alert literally everybody in the village of this sudden insane power boost of chakra that just hit out of nowhere. But he revealed that he really is telling the truth, like he's being serious. And Hiruzen just looks at him. I literally have no idea what to say right now. He would say, I'm sorry. He just looks at him. Look, technically, I'm still the fourth Hokage, since you know. I technically got removed off death, and I'm technically not dead. He looks forward. I want my seat back. And he didn't want to say, dude, we can't have a 12-year-old running the village. They don't have to know that I'm running the village, he would say. But I only trust 3 people currently. And that reluctantly, oh my god, I can't even fucking say the word. That being reluctantly you, that's the best I'm gonna say it, fuck it. He would say that, as then he would say Kakashi and Jiraiya. Kakashi and Jiraiya are both unaware of the fact that I'm still alive, but I intend to make sure that both of them find out soon. And when I say soon, Kakashi's finding out tonight. He would say, but for now, I will be running the village as a Shadow Hokage. He looks forward. That is all. He turns around and walks away, where from there, he teleports off. Teleporting to his home, he then begins to remember exactly where Kakashi lived, and he walked off. Walking off, he proceeds to weave hand signs and use the camouflage jutsu, where from there he ends up camouflaging as well as using another jutsu, which it isn't like an elemental jutsu, but you know, and we go call it air style silent, we call it wind style silent steps, where he easily snuck into Kakashi's home, where from there he would wait. As he waited and waited and waited, he felt the kunai to his throat. He smirked. Well, you sensed me, Kakashi. He held up his hands as suddenly the camouflage jutsu would fall, and he's revealed to be in his adult form. Kakashi looks towards him, confused. Minato? Sensei? He would say he slowly drops the kunai before putting it back up, realizing that's bullshit. Minato's dead. Are you trying to play me like a fool? He then exclaims, no, he's not. He really is Minato. Kakashi doesn't buy it for even a second, as Minato would exclaim that if we just hear him out and listen. He slowly lifts up his hand, and as he does so, before Kakashi can react, he already weaved hand signs, and a link was already formed. As he does the same thing that he did to Hiruzen to Kakashi, flooding his mind with all the knowledge. He didn't even bother re-explaining it. Instead, he just straight up gave him the information, all the details that were needed. Kakashi he's confused. So, the body that I'm currently looking at, the kid that I'm currently looking at, isn't even supposed to be here. That thing literally created an extra body. He would nod. Is it human? Minato would nod. Biologically, I'm Naruto's brother. Spiritually, I'm his father. Kakashi just sits down. How powerful are you right now? He then would explain that he's actually, currently, he's probably stronger than what his adult self is. And He looks forward for explaining that Kakashi, Naruto's going to be put onto your team along with Sasuke and Sakura. He explains that right now, since Naruto isn't going to be, on his team, that he wants to go learn how to perfect his Sage Mode. But in order to do that, he has to reverse summon himself to Mount Miyaboku. And he wants someone to watch over Naruto. He looks forward. And he wants to figure out if there's a way to get in contact with Jiraiya. He believes that Hiruzen should be able to do so, but Hiruzen's a little bit occupied giving all of his information to his shadow clone. Minato looks forward with a serious facial expression. I trust and I believe in you. As he proceeds to weave hand signs, and then he teleports back home. With him teleporting home, he ends up going to sleep that night. And he ends up waking up. With him waking up, the teams are selected. Naruto Uzumaki, Sasuke Uchiha, Sakura Haruno, Team 7. Minato Namikaze, Hinata Hyuga, Kiba, Inazunka, Team whatever the fuck, Team Kurenai. Cause you're probably wondering, what am I gonna do with Shino? I'm just gonna throw him in the Ambu, so yeah. Shino, Ambu. So yeah. As the teams were now said, Minato would look forward. He ends up weaving hand signs as he ends up forming a permanent clone jutsu. His permanent clone ends up taking the spot of where he were. He then proceeds to reverse summon himself in the bathroom to Mount Miyaboku. As he arrives at Mount Miyaboku, the Toads will have their little moment, but the Toads were actually able to sense Minato's spirit. How? Bullshit. Nature energy, spiritual energy, same diff. So they were actually able to sense the fact that this is like dead-ass Minato Namikaze. So Gamabunta was confused. He would actually question as to how, and he explained that a literal god reincarnated him into a body that is technically his son. Okay, they would just say, because they just give up at this point. Like, Kaguya, the Otsutsuki, like, they're real and they're literal gods. So they just gave up and just went ahead and accepted the fact that Minato is back and a literal god reincarnated him. Because they would question it, but even questioning it doesn't matter because this type of shit legitimately happens. So there was no point in actually questioning it. So they look forward towards Minato and asks what does he want. He explains that he wants to learn how to perfect Sage Mode. He explains he actually is a perfect Sage, entering Sage Mode instantly, but he explains that he doesn't like Sage Mode, but he wants to learn to actually utilize it better. So from here, they begins to train Minato on how to perfect his Sage Mode to an even better degree than what he already has it. They're trying to get his Sage Mode on par with that the likes of Naruto, because Minato is aware of the fact that his son is just massively better at using Sage Mode than he is. And part of him low-key doesn't like the fact that his child is better than him when it comes to Sage Mode. Because who would like the fact that your son is better than you at using Sage Mode? See, that would actually legitimately bug me if, let's say, my brother was better than me at using a power that is technically my power. Yeah, nah, I'd hate it. I would hate every single second of it. So Minato is a little bit salty about that. And he wants to be the one to actually teach Naruto Sage Mode in his timeline. So he ends up getting Sage Mode perfected, and within the span of only a few days. But we cut on over towards Naruto's perspective. Now we can actually talk about Naruto. As they're talking, they end up asking, each other their goals and dreams. And Naruto looks forward. He explains that he wants to be the Hokage. He explained that he wants to be the Hokage in order to protect his brother. He explains that so far, his entire life, his brother has always been the one protecting him. And he explains that he wants to be there for Minato. He wants to protect Minato, and he wants for his brother to actually live up to the man that they were named after. He explains that his brother was named after Minato, and Naruto, also been named after the 4th Hokage. They were born a few days after he died. They look onward a bit upset. He explains that since both of them were literally named after the 4th, they want to make him proud. Their mother died in childbirth, and their father was already killed years prior. Little does Naruto know, he's lying. He doesn't even know that he's lying, but he's literally yapping. And Sasuke and Sakura both looked onward, a bit intrigued by what was happening, but they remained quiet. From here we're now time skip. On over towards Naruto, ends up meeting his team in the forest. When he meets Sasuke and Sakura in the forest, Kakashi ends up arriving a few hours later. Everything from here plays out close to normal. The difference is though, when the bell test starts, Kakashi still bodies and completely embarrasses Sasuke. But Naruto rushes forward. He rushes forward towards Kakashi, moving at a way faster speed than what Kakashi was expecting. Naruto ends up jumping into the air before healing. Wind style, air step, as Naruto literally jumps upward and he double jumps into the air before weaving hand signs again and firing off a gale palm. Gale palm after gale palm. Kakashi is surprised that Naruto's able to even fire decent many off. He ends up jumping backwards. He dodges all the gale palms just for Naruto to weave hand signs and to fire off a wind style wind bullet. A pretty big wind bullet shoots forward and actually ends up smashing into Kakashi. Naruto would rush towards, he ends up weaving his hand signs. Wind style, wind fangs, as claws made out of wind would form onto Naruto's hands. Naruto ends up slashing at the bells, but Kakashi would jump backwards as he proceeds to pick Naruto into a leg lock easily. Naruto's absolutely stunned at how this man did that within a matter of a few seconds. Well, from here, Kakashi held Naruto up in a lock. Well, from there, we went now time skip. Naruto ends up being tied to a stump. Kakashi ends up being the winner. Of course, Sasuke and Sakura still ends up feeding Naruto their food, which means that they still end up passing. With that, I'm going to be taking my first break. And when I say my first break, I'm going to sleep and I'm finishing the rest of this when I wake up. With Naruto completing his mission, with Naruto and the rest of Team 7 becoming official, we cut on over towards Minato, who ends up leaving. As Minato leaves, he goes off in order to meet up with his team, that being Team Kurenai. He ends up meeting them. As he sits down beside Hinata and he sits down beside Kiba. As they begin to discuss their teams, and she decides to ask him their goals. Minato explains that his dream is to be a member of the council. He wants to sit on the council and work alongside the Hokage. He then expresses that, more seriously, he wants the village to understand the severity and the power that the Nine Tails hold, and the fact that whoever wields the Nine Tails should be greatly respected. Mainly because, for one, they hold what is essentially a nuke inside of their body, and for two, they are the only things that is truly protecting the village from the Nine Tails itself. He looks forward. He wants his little brother to be safe, by any means necessary. He explains he'll do anything to keep him safe, even if that means like raining hell upon even the Leaf Village itself. He expresses he may care for this village, but he cares for his brothers far more. That is all. Or from here, Hinata would say that she wants to become the head of her clan, and she wants to establish her connection with a certain someone. Minato has a slight little smirk, as he already knows that she's referring to Naruto. He begins to laugh a little bit, but Kiba ends up expressing that he wants to become the Hokage. And Minato just thinks to himself, yeah, that's not gonna happen. But with this being said, Minato had this moment with his team where from here he ends up going home. When he makes it home, Naruto is seen making ramen, as always. Minato just asks, dude, ramen again? Naruto would sigh, it's my favorite food, plus it's pretty much all we have. Minato would sigh, as he ends up walking upward, he then would grab a bowl of ramen as well. They would eat their ramen together. Where from there, Naruto would ask, so you can teleport, right? He would nod, I'm the fastest person in Konoha, most likely. He then would ask, but there's limitations on your teleportation, right? He would nod. Don't you think it would be safer for you to figure out some other way to access speed other than your teleportation? What if you run out of kunais? Or what if you don't have mark spots everywhere? What if there's just not enough room for you to mark? This causes Minato to actually stop and think. You're right, he would say. I do need other means of speed and other means of technique, he would say. The Flying Thunder God won't always be able to save me. Some people may actually be smart enough to overcome it. After all, there were several moments where it was almost overcame. He then would say, you're right, Naruto. I do need another method. So from here, he would actually go on into Hiruzen's office. He walks inside and he looks towards him. Hey, I want to see the scroll real quick, the sacred scroll. He would look at him. Why? He then explained that he actually wants to learn the lightning cloak technique. He then expresses that he knows that it's actually in here, considering that he himself put the jutsu within the scroll. He looks towards him as he would sigh. Sure thing, Minato. As he ends up handing Minato the sacred scroll, Minato then will copy the lightning cloak technique, or the lightning cloak jutsu's hand signs. As he copies them, he then quickly realizes that he doesn't really like it like this. Lightning style may be one of his better of his jutsu, so he just don't like it. He figured that a wind cloak version of it will suit him far better. Plus, it would likely make him faster since the wind itself would make him lighter through the air. So he ends up revamping the lightning cloak jutsu and turning it into the wind style wind cloak jutsu, which he did within a matter of a few seconds. Hiruzen sees him perform this effortlessly, like with just literally no effort whatsoever. Hiruzen would sigh for a moment. Sometimes I just think you're too smart. Minato just smirks before saying now he's going to go teach it to Naruto. Or from here, he literally vanishes in a poof of leaves and wind. Hiruzen would sigh as Minato appears back within their home. He walks towards Naruto, where from there he'll show him the hand signs for the jutsu. Him and Naruto then would train on it the entire night until they went to sleep that night. With them going to sleep that night, like normal, Naruto ends up having a bunch of boring and pretty much lame missions that entire day. They were lame, they were boring, and they were pretty much worthless. So Naruto doesn't take any of these missions seriously. And eventually he still ends up demanding a harder mission from Hiruzen, which of course still leads to Tosuna entering the room. Tosuna will still talk garbage onto all of Team 7. With this being said, Hiruzen will call Minato into his office, where from there he explained everything to him. Minato then explains that he wants him to add Team Kurenai onto this mission. Hiruzen then will question why. He then explained he wants to keep his son safe for obvious reasons. And for 2, why not? I mean, he already knows about the whole Zabuza mission. I mean, he had so many stories told to him by Naruto during their small time together as he was a reaniman. He wants to be able to actually experience more of these things. So he looks forward and smiles. He's serious about this. And Hiruzen will just go ahead on and agree. He puts Team Kurenai on the mission as well. And Minato begins to smile. As that day goes onward, and the day ends up coming around when it's actually time for them to meet up at the village borders, they would do so. Naruto sees Team Kurenai. He sees Minato. He gets extremely ecstatic. He then asks how come he didn't just tell him they were going on a mission together. He didn't explain that he didn't want to tell him too soon. After all, it would ruin the surprise. As he says this, Minato slowly turns as he side-eyes Hinata before side-eyeing Naruto. He slightly shoves Naruto onto the side of Hinata, keeping him away from Sakura, and the entire time having him closer to Hinata. Naruto gets a little bit aggravated by this for a moment. He's just like, dude, you're messing up my things with Sakura. As this happened, Minato actually drags Naruto aside. While the rest of the team kept walking forward, he explained that yo, Sakura's not it for you, dude. I don't really like her, to be honest. He expresses that he do like Hinata though, and Hinata likes him. He then tells Naruto, give Hinata a chance. I'm telling you, things are going to work out perfectly if you do. Just talk to her a little bit. Naruto looks at him, and for a moment there, he's going to just completely ignore him, but it's his big brother. He just ignores it. He walks in, and he begins to slowly talk to Hinata a bit more and more. He quickly realizes this time around that Hinata is very nervous when talking to him. She's able to talk to Minato, and she's able to talk to everybody else there with pretty much no problems, but anytime it came to talking to him, she was nervous. And Naruto realized that Minato was telling the truth. She really does like him, which causes Naruto to smile. He gets very happy seeing that someone actually likes him. So he begins to talk to Hinata more and more. And the entire time as they're talking, they end up completely missing the puddle, which means that Kakashi still ends up being attacked. But as soon as the Demon Brothers pounce outward in order to attack Kakashi, both Kurenai and Minato both instantly act. With Minato's wind cloak instinctively activating, he proceeds to blitz forward and immediately appear right in front of the first brother, kunai to the throat, as Kurenai has the other brother trapped within a genjutsu of vines being wrapped around his arms and legs. Just like that, the two Demon Brothers were apprehended. Literally, within a matter of only a few seconds, they proceed to fold them. And Minato and Kurenai both looked at each other before looking back towards the brothers. Minato then explained, Kurenai sensei, gather intel. I think it's best that you do so. She would smile, as Kakashi explains that he'll do the same with the other brother. Kurenai and Kakashi proceeds to interrogate the brothers. Like normal, it ends up being discovered that this isn't a C-rank mission, but instead an S-rank mission. With this being said, they end up actually considering pulling out of the mission, but due to Naruto, Sasuke, and basically Minato convincing them that they should keep going, mainly because Kakashi listens, because Minato is literally the fourth fucking Hokage. Literally no one they encounter is going to actually be a problem, because Minato is the fastest man on the planet. Minato is not only the fastest man on the planet, Minato fucking reincarnated himself. Yeah, he has absolute faith that Minato is gonna be able to handle things. And hell, even if Minato couldn't, he's pretty sure that he could, or he's pretty certain that Kurenai could. So he smiles. They continue on with their mission. Well, they'll continue on with the mission. Like normal, Kakashi still tells everyone to duck. As everyone proceeds to duck, Minato proceeds to see the Executioner blade flies throughout the air. Instinctively he ducks, but he also makes sure he actually managed to touch the Executioner's blade, ever so slightly, enough to actually place a seal onto the Executioner's blade. As this happens, Minato would slightly smile, as the battle in between Kakashi and Zabuza would take place as it did in the original timeline. Naruto and Sasuke both rushes in. As soon as Minato sees Naruto and Sasuke rush in, he flying Thunder Guards right beside Naruto, as immediately he would run in alongside them. Instantly, Minato proceeds to push Naruto to the side. As he does so, he proceeds to flying Thunder Guard on top of Naruto's fucking head. He jumps off of Naruto's head, spins, and he proceeds to throw in for a kick towards Zabuza. Zabuza jumps back and dodges Minato's kick. As this proceeds to happen, Minato would throw several kunais down. Zabuza dodges all of the kunais, and as this happens, Minato teleports and proceeds to slash Zabuza lead across his stomach. Minato then would teleport to the other kunai, slash Zabuza across his back. He begins to flicker all around him in a yellow flash, constantly slicing and dicing into Zabuza, and everyone watching this are stunned. The speed that he's moving like they can't explain it, but he's a literal yellow flash. And as he does this, Kurano's eyes would widen. It's a yellow flash. That speed, it's almost like the fourth Hokage's. Minato proceeds to jump backward as he proceeds to weave hand signs. Multi-shadow clone jutsu! With several shadow clones forming, he then would all rush forward, every last shadow clone. Zabuza proceeds to pick up his Executioner's blade, dropping the water prison jutsu. Kakashi begins to cough up, a lot of water as Minato clones charge in towards Zabuza. Zabuza swings his blade as all the clones end up, surprisingly enough, teleporting. They all teleport and they're all on top of Zabuza's blade. Zabuza's confused as the three clones all kick Zabuza across the face as the real Minato zipped forward and hit him with a mean Rasengan to the stomach. Zabuza coughs up a tremendous amount of blood as he's sent flying by a shockwave. Minato then proceeds to weave hand signs as several more clones would form, all forming Rasengans of their own. They all rush forward, but as they rush forward, Zabuza is stabbed across the neck with several Senbons. Haku lands. He says the same line he said in the original timeline. And Minato for a second there, well, not even for a second, Minato knows for a fact that Haku's lying, and he actually is prepared to kill him because he isn't aware of the fact that he has a marker on the Executioner's blade, and he could pop up right behind him right now since Haku put the blade on his back like a fool. But Kakashi would tell him not to do so, and well, we would wait. Like normal, they end up making it on over towards Tazuna's home. As they make it to Tazuna's home, the same little conversation will be had between Naruto and Inari. Naruto and Inari would argue, but Minato would tell him to calm down. It isn't really necessary listening to the kid yabble. As he says this, Inari kind of yells for a moment, but Minato completely ignores him because, for one, Minato isn't one to argue with children. He finds the kid to be pretty funny, and he finds the whole situation to be funny in general. So he doesn't argue with him. He lets the kid yell. He lets the kid even scream a little bit. But he literally makes it very clear that, he doesn't care how much the kid yells. He's going to do what he wants to do. So from here, we're now going to be time skipping. Now, they make it on over towards the bridge. As Team 7 and Team Kurano's make it to the bridge, from here things start off very similar to as they did in the original timeline. I have a random receipt in my phone case I just found. Anyways, original timeline. Zabuza and Haku roll in, with the mist rolling in, and as it does so, Minato decides he's going to stand back and watch. He literally just stands back and allows Naruto and Sasuke to have the same interaction as they did in the original timeline. The difference is when he starts seeing Naruto get a little bit too fucked up, he places down his kunai, teleports inside of there, and as soon as he teleports inside of the crystal ice dome, he proceeds to close his eyes. He knows for a fact he can get Sasuke, Naruto, and himself out of there immediately, but he doesn't want to do that. He wants to show off a bit. His eyes would turn red as the Nine-Tails cloak would form around him, and in an instant he would explode forward in chakra with a massive shockwave completely shattering the ice dome itself. Minato then proceeds to boom forward towards Haku as he smacks him dead across the face and sends Haku flying dead across the bridge. Minato then proceeds to start throwing several kunais forward. Haku begins to dodge and evade all of them. As this happens, Minato proceeds to run forward. Surprisingly enough, not even using the flying thunder guy, mainly because he wants to throw the guy off a bit. He rushes forward before then he teleports in front of him, smashing him right across the face with a mean punch to his face yet again. Minato then flying thunder guys to one of his kunais right behind Haku, slashes him across the back before throwing said kunai again, teleporting to it again, and slashing him across his stomach. He begins to teleport all around Haku, brutally slicing him before he just stops teleporting and just starts putting basic hands on him with only using the Nine Tails and hand strength. He's just smashing and just thrashing Haku all around the place. Minato looks towards him with emotionless facial expression as he proceeds to zip forward and kick Haku dead across the face, slamming he literally kicked bro's face almost clean off. Minato then rushes forward and proceeds to slam his fist directly into Haku's stomach, when from there he begins to punch him over and over and over and over again. Or for here, Minato proceeds to jump upward, spin, as he then proceeds to slam a Rasengan into Haku. From here, we're now going to be time skipping. Minato has just defeated Haku. Kakashi has just killed Zabuza. And like normal, Gato and all of his men show up. As they all proceed to show up, Kakashi and Kurenai proceeds to absolutely fold this man's entire fleet. And now, your glorious king. Time skip yet again. Bloop. They make it back to the Leaf Village. When they make it back to the Leaf Village, Minato and Naruto end up splitting off from the rest of the group. And as they are walking on over towards their home, like normal, you end up encountering Gaara and the rest of his team, who are currently bullying Konohamaru. Minato sees as he walks forward, and he tells him to put him down. As Kankuro refuses to do so, Naruto will walk up beside him and say, "Put him down." As this happens, Kankuro and his team begins to stare him down, but Minato begins to stare them down, unleashing bloodlust off of him that Naruto doesn't really notice, but Kankuro and Temari does. As this happens, Gaara, who's slowly in a tree, would only watch onward, not doing a thing. As this happens, they proceed to walk away, and from here we're going to be time skipping. Now, Team 7 were given a week to train, and during this time period, Minato has done all of his training with Naruto. We cut on over towards him at a council meeting. A council meeting is held, and Minato does a transformation jutsu, and he appears to be Hiruzen. As they're talking about the Chunin exams, the upcoming exams, they did begin to discuss the likes of Naruto and Minato. Hiruzen / Minato, because Hiruzen is literally Minato right now, because Minato is using the transformation jutsu to appear as Hiruzen. As they're talking, Minato begins to explain that, for one, Naruto and Minato are going to be participating within the Chunin exams. And not only they're going to be participating, they're going to be able to participate however they see fit. He looks forward. These teams are going to be unique, and I want them to win because they are incredible. He explains that nothing's going to get in the way of the kids. Those children are very important to this village. He explains that both of them are the only protection that they have from every other nation. Those kids are powerful. With both of them together, they literally have 2 Nine Tails. Let's not forget that. And both of the Nine Tails, hell, one half of the Nine Tails is stronger than probably every tail beast other than the 8 Tails. When they honestly feel like half of the Nine Tails could probably still defeat the 8 Tails. So, yeah, let's not jump to conclusions when it comes down to the Uzumaki boys. He then explains, they are powerful, and they are prodigies, especially the likes of Minato. We've seen that those kids were so smart they kept their skills hidden. Smart of them, because knowing yes, you guys, you would have tried to hold them back. He looks forward. We're prepared for anything, and if they were to act out of character, they will be handled. But since they have not done anything to make them deserve such acts, the kids are good. Minato then will tell them the meeting is over as they proceed to leave. With me cutting over towards Sasuke still getting destroyed by Lee. Everything that actually takes place with Naruto within the Force of Death will still take place the same exact way. Minato being here doesn't really change much. Naruto has some basic wind style jutsu. He has the Rasengan already and the multi shadow clone jutsu. But to be completely honest, that arsenal still isn't going to do much against Orochimaru. So, yeah, but it is going to do something against Kiba. So we cut on over towards Naruto's fight against Kiba, as Minato watches onward as Naruto steps into the ring, and so does Kiba. Naruto proceeds to look towards Minato as he says, I'm sorry? And Minato just smiles, do whatever. As their fight will begin, Naruto rushes forward towards Kiba. Naruto immediately goes in for a kick, in which Kiba would dodge. But to Kiba's surprise, Naruto ends up literally kicking him across the back of his head before Naruto knees Kiba in the face, and then he uppercuts Kiba. Naruto then begins to punch Kiba over and over and over and over again. Kiba's surprised, he's getting smacked all around the place. As Naruto then proceeds to punch him across the face, Naruto would duck, punch him across the stomach 3 times, but from there Naruto would spin and kick him across the face. Kiba ends up running forward Akamaru. Akamaru jumps up in order to bite at Naruto, but Naruto easily grabs Akamaru and slams the poor dog into the ground. Naruto then proceeds to look at Akamaru. For a moment there, not feeling literally anything, he then proceeds to actually kick Akamaru, and Akamaru is flung back. Naruto then proceeds to run forward. As he runs forward, Kiba will call him a bastard for hurting Akamaru, but Naruto shows no sign of care. Naruto proceeds to pull out a kunai. He zips forward towards him, and to the surprise of Kiba, Naruto moved at stupidly fast speeds that no one in the crowd were expecting. Naruto appeared in front of him, and with just a simple white glow coming off of him as he moved, he proceeds to slash Kiba across his body, slicing through Kiba's uniform and even cutting through Kiba brutally. Blood will pour out as Naruto then proceeds to turn around and he kicks Kiba across the back of his skull, knocking him unconscious. The crowd remains silent. No one cheered for Naruto for obvious reasons. As this happens, Minato would crack a pretty big smile on his face. Now, since Minato's going to be taking the place of Shino, I was going to give him Shino's fight, but to be completely honest, I'm like 90% sure Shino just fought a bunch of randoms, and I don't want Minato fighting no randoms. So, we're going to be making Minato fight... We're going to make him fight Choji, because I don't even remember who the fuck Choji fought. Pretty sure he just did some lazy shit. But yeah, he's going to be fighting against Choji. So Minato steps downward, and as he steps down, he looks forward towards Choji Akamichi. Him and Choji are actually good friends. As Minato would bow his head, Choji would bow his, as Minato then proceeds to get into a fighting stance. Choji then proceeds to run forward towards Minato, and obviously Minato dodges. I mean, it's Choji. Minato begins to dodge all of Choji's attacks, where from there he ends up sweep kicking Choji, and then he proceeds to jump upward and kick him across the face. Choji rolls backwards across the ground, where from there he ends up rolling into his human boulder. He rushes forward towards Minato. Minato sees him coming as he proceeds to immediately throw a kunai behind him. He teleports behind Choji, where from there Minato would rush forward. Using his wind style wind cloak, he booms forward towards Choji. He then proceeds to use what he called the wind blade fang, which is literally just his hand pointed forward, and he slices towards Choji's human boulder, which surprisingly enough doesn't even cut through it, as Choji proceeds to turn around and still roll at Minato. Minato ends up jumping upwards into the air, because he doesn't want to use the Rasengan, because the Rasengan would most definitely defeat Choji, probably in one blow, or it could even kill him, so he doesn't want to do that. Minato jumps backwards. From there he would weave hand signs and call upon a wind style Gale Palm. The Gale Palm ends up smashing into Choji. Choji's flung back, but yet again, Choji doesn't seem to be hurt. Minato then proceeds to land on the ground. He then would weave hand signs, lightning style, lightning cord. He ends up shooting lightning cords towards Choji, but Choji begins to evade through the cords. As he rushes forward towards Minato, Minato then would weave hand signs, wind style breakthrough, as he ends up shooting for a massive breakthrough towards Choji. Choji ends up being finally smacked by it as he finally loses his human boulder form, and he slams against the wall. But as this happens, Choji proceeds to slowly grow. As he grows, he doesn't grow to a massive size, but he grows bigger than what he already was. Minato sees and just thinks, ah shit. Choji will rush forward towards it. With Minato's wind cloak still being activated, he ends up zipping all around Choji, dodging and evading most of Choji's attacks. The only issue is though Choji is actually able to land punch after punch after punch on the ground and all around them, completely destroying the ring that they're in. Minato ends up jumping backwards. From there he would shoot off a wind bullet towards him. As it ends up happening, Choji ends up dodging the wind bullet, where from there Minato ends up teleporting behind him. As he teleports behind him, he ends up forming a small, very weak Rasengan that he slams into his back. As this happens, Choji begins to cough up a bit of blood and he actually falls over onto the ground. He holds his back in a bit of pain, but he struggles and he gets up. As he sees it, Choji's fist will grow giant, and he rushes forward towards Minato. He ends up smashing Minato. He punches him with a mean punch to the gut. Minato is sent flying as Minato coughs up a bit of spit. Minato wonders like, whoa, Choji is like genuinely trying right now. Why is he trying? He would wonder for a minute. As he looks upward, he then sees Choji running forward towards him. As this happens, Minato proceeds to weave hand signs. As he reads hand signs, he then will use body expansion jutsu, the same technique that Choji is using. And Choji is confused, along with the entire Akimichi clan. But of course, like I said, Minato has yin-yang release, which means he can do this. And not only is that the case, I think he was a master of it, so yeah. Him and Choji then would clash, and as they clash, Minato then proceeds to influx his fists that were already enlarged with wind chakra. He then proceeds to knock Choji back, when from there Minato would throw his kunai forward. He blisters forward, but from there he proceeds to do the same combo with his slashes that Naruto did to Kiba, he does to Choji. Choji is then knocked out with a kick to the back of the skull. The crowd sees this and they just also remain silent. But surprisingly enough, a few people begin to clap for Minato. Mainly because they're gonna like Minato a little bit more than they like Naruto. Mainly because Minato greatly resembles the 4th Hokage even more than what the likes of Naruto does. And it's like his resemblance is low-key uncanny. Many people across the village slowly but surely begins to develop more respect for him just because he's a spinning image of the 4th Hokage. And they're still too stupid to realize that he's his son. They're still too fucking stupid. But we're not gonna time skip. Every match from here will play out like canon. Gaara still ends up completely decimating Lee. Sasuke still ends up defeating his opponents. Ino and Sakura still has their absolutely pathetic fight. Hinata defeats whoever it is the fuck she defeated in the first time. Wait, no. Hinata still gets her ass kicked by Neji. The difference is though both Naruto and Minato actually steps in, with Minato teleporting to Hinata and Naruto flying thunder gods beside Minato. Yes, Naruto can use it. He's not going to be a master of it. He's not going to be perfect at it like Minato is, but he can use the flying thunder god technique. So when Minato teleported down, Naruto teleported down, and immediately Minato would form a Rasengan. Naruto would do the same, with Minato having his wind cloak around him and Naruto having just powerful red aura come off of him. As this proceeds to happen, Neji proceeds to stand down. Well, from here we're not going to time skip during this little break. During the break, with everyone training, Minato actually tests Naruto's infinities, and it turns out that Naruto has an infinity for wind and fire. Yes, his version of Naruto isn't going to be the exact same as canon Naruto for obvious reasons. So he then proceeds to tell Naruto, like, how does he feel about the wind armor? Naruto expressed that he doesn't really like it as much, so he proceeds to see if Naruto can actually implement a fire version of that. And he tells Naruto that during the training, that's what he's going to primarily focus on. As this happens, he goes into his Hokage's office, where from there he sees Jiraiya. As this happens, Minato immediately breaks, like literally breaks, rushes forward towards Jiraiya and hugs him. Jiraiya has no idea what's happening right now, as in Minato realizes that he's still in his child form, so he looks forward towards him, weave hand signs, and then will say, forgot the fuck it's called. Anyway, he just performs transformation jutsu and reveals his 4th Hokage form. Well, from there, he proceeds to explain everything, and Jiraiya doesn't believe him, but Hiruzen tells him immediately, like, yo, it's all true. Like, this is dead ass Minato. And he's just like, you got reincarnated into your son's twin? Wait, huh? Wait. If you from the future, do I have a Tsunade? No. Well, hell, I actually keep real shit, probably. I don't really know, to be real. I was kind of dead. You was dead? But you from the future. But you was dead. But you died from the future. But you dead. But you came back from the future because you was reanimation and you came back to life, and then you died again, and then you reincarnated into your son that isn't supposed to exist. He would nod. The god of, I guess this guy is the god of reincarnation or some bullshit. He created a vessel for me to be reincarnated in. This body that I'm currently in isn't supposed to exist. The twin of Naruto that is currently Minato, or me, isn't supposed to exist. The god simply made this there for there to be somewhere for my soul to go that it could be somewhat compatible with. So how come you didn't just reincarnate into your own body? Because my own body's fucking dead, he would say. As this happens, they proceed to have a long conversation. Well, from there, he explained that Naruto is currently working on how to use his own fire armor technique. Minato then explains that he actually based a wind cloak off of the lightning cloak. Naruto is currently trying to base the fire quirk off of the wind cloak. And he's just like, interesting. As they walk and talk for a minute, he explained he taught Naruto a lot, but he hasn't taught Naruto everything that he knows because he doesn't want Naruto to be too powerful or to develop an ego. He holds himself back at times. He let himself lose and even lets himself appear to be weaker than what it is. That way he doesn't, confuse Naruto. He explained that Naruto sees him as a prodigy. In all actuality, everything that he does, he already knew how to do. He tells him that he wants him to meet Naruto. And from here, Jiraiya ends up being in the same exact spot that Ken and Naruto would have met him at. And Ken and Naruto still ends up meeting him. But from here, Ken and Naruto still ends up talking with him for a little minute, where from there he still ends up training him for a little bit. Ken and Naruto even tells Minato about the guy that's been training him, and he actually goes off and acts like he's meeting him for the first time. Where from here, he ends up teaching both of them, or quote-unquote both of them, the summoning jutsu. Minato is still able to successfully summon Gamabunta, and so is Naruto. As both of them make a contract with Gamabunta, Minato decides to, he's gonna have to, get another summoning. So he ends up getting another summoning, and just so happen to be one of them random-ass toads, I'm gonna say the random-ass red toad. So yeah, he ends up having that toad, and now it's his summoning. He's even able to summon Ma and Pa Toad. Or from here, Minato ends up asking, this is enough. He would nod. From here, Naruto, Jiraiya, and Minato continues on with their training. Naruto ends up developing his fire cloak technique, as well as developing the fire style flame fist jutsu, and as well as the fire style fireball jutsu. Minato finds this to be a lot better than Naruto using wind style, because he realized that Naruto has an affinity for wind and fire, but sometimes Naruto prefers a little bit of destruction. He could tell that Naruto's a little unstable. Just a little bit though. He can literally see it, he literally sees that there's a darkness within Naruto. And he plans to extinguish the fuck out of that. But anyways, we cut on over towards the matches. The first match is going to be Naruto versus Neji. And Naruto walks into the ring. And as soon as he does, he proceeds to stare Neji down. With Neji staring at Naruto, Naruto will crack his neck. And Neji will crack his. Naruto proceeds to throw several kunais towards Neji. Neji, immediately realizing what's going to happen, he would dodge and throw all the kunais back towards Naruto. Naruto would smile as he rushes forward, going in towards hand-to-hand combat on Neji. Neji begins to dodge all of Naruto's attacks, and as this happens, Naruto proceeds to smack Neji across the face. As soon as Neji is hit by Naruto, Naruto proceeds to knee him in the stomach, as then he proceeds to grab Neji by his shoulders, and then he proceeds to fling, and he kicks Neji in the stomach with both of his legs. Naruto then hits the ground, he flips upwards, weave hand signs, and would summon multiple shadow clones. All these shadow clones will charge in towards Neji. As these are the shadow clones charging towards Neji, Neji jumps backwards and proceeds to fire off several Gale Palms. Each Gale Palm smacks into Naruto's shadow clones. Shadow clones will poof. As from there, Naruto will charge in himself. Him and Neji would get into a brief scuffle, with hand-to-hand combat being used only. As each of them are using their hand-to-hand combat skills, Naruto then proceeds to weave hand signs. He ends up summoning a huge Rasengan, a bigger one, literally one bigger than both of their bodies. He goes in and slams it down towards Neji. Neji jumps backwards, he ends up mid-air rotating. Literally, that rotation ends up protecting him from the shockwave that's released from the Rasengan as it hits the ground. Minato then would say, "Naruto, you could have killed him with that." Naruto then would apologize. He then would say, "Hold yourself back, restraint, don't forget that. You're kinda overdoing it." As he says this, Naruto says, "I'm sorry, bro, I didn't mean for that to happen, it just, shit, I put way more chakra in it than expected." As this happens, the crowd is just like, wow. Mid-match, they're just talking like the dude didn't just try to fucking kill someone. Naruto then looks forward. Okay, killing's technically allowed, but I'm not gonna kill you. He will look forward, for her sake. Naruto then looks forward, as he then proceeds to weave hand signs. Fire style, fire cloak jutsu. He would say, as a flaming cloak begins to appear around Naruto, Neji seizes as Naruto begins to jump up and down. He then tells him, "Let's see what your rotation can do against this." As Naruto booms forward with a trail of fire being left within his wake, Naruto appears right in front of Neji and slams his fist directly into him. Fire style, flame fist jutsu! Naruto then begins to punch the air several times over and over and over again, shooting several flaming fist-like imprints towards Neji. With each of these attacks shooting forward towards Neji, Neji begins to dodge, evade some of them, but he ends up being smacked by a few of them. As he's smacked by each of these, Naruto will charge in. Naruto then proceeds to hit him with a mean flaming kick to the face. Neji is thrown back as he's sent flying, with Naruto charging in towards him. Naruto will slam his fist into Neji's stomach before headbutting him. He grabs Neji and proceeds to hit him with a stunner. I don't know why, I just wanted him to do a stunner. But he hits him with a stunner. Naruto then proceeds to run, and he jumps upwards and smacks him with a Superman punch. Neji stumbles backwards as Neji then proceeds to spin and activating his rotation. Naruto runs forward with his flaming cloak as he tries to run right through the rotation, and surprisingly enough, Naruto's actually able to slightly break through it, but he wasn't able to break through enough. Neji then proceeds to end the rotation as he's thrown back by the shockwave. Naruto ends up landing as he lands himself, he gets up when he rushes forward towards Neji. Neji and Naruto then begins to clash over and over and over again. As Minato watches over this battle, he quickly begins to realize that if Naruto continues to fight like this, he's gonna lose. He then tells Naruto to take things much more seriously, and Naruto begins to do so. Naruto then begins to focus so much on his power, he actually begins to forcibly call upon the Nine Tails Chakra. As Naruto begins to call upon the Nine Tails Chakra, slowly but surely a red orb begins to come off of him, and his flaming cloak begins to turn a red color. As immediately him and Neji begins to clash more and more, but each time they're clashing now, Naruto's actually starting to hurt Neji with simply clashing with him. Naruto proceeds to knee Neji directly in the gut. He grabbed Neji by his skull and he proceeds to slam him onto the ground. Naruto picks him up, tosses him into the air, jumps forward, and smacks Neji across the face. Neji hits the ground unconscious. Well, from there, Naruto's chakra would disperse and he ends up entering his his base form. Well, from there, Naruto has a huge smile on his face where Naruto's declared the winner. Or from here, we cut over towards Minato. Minato's waiting as he watches all the other matches. Like normal things will play out from here. Minato ends up fighting against a random. He ends up absolutely destroying this random. Sasuke still fights against Gaara. Everything from here would go up to canon, with Naruto still being the one who saved them. We cutting over towards Minato, who sees everything happening was in the barrier. Minato used the flying third god techniques. He enters the barrier, or from there, Minato actually slashes one of the reanimations, that being Tobirama, and the reanimation is actually split in half. As this happens, Orochimaru looks forward. Minato Uzumaki, what are you doing here? Minato then would say, my name is Minato Namikaze. He looks forward. As he says this, suddenly he would poof, entering into his adult form once more. As he does this, Orochimaru looks at him confused. Huh? As he says this, he then would say, I'm the fourth Hokage. I'm so lost. As this happens, Naruto proceeds to zoom forward. Minato zooms forward as he proceeds to throw several kunais. But this time around, he starts throwing rapidly. So many kunais begin to get thrown all around the building. As this happens, Minato then proceeds to pull out regular kunais as well and continues to throw them as well. And Orochimaru was just dodging and evading all of them. He's just confused. He then begins to start throwing shurikens all around the place. And the reanimation is rushed forward, but Minato zips forward towards one of them, teleporting towards the closest kunai to it as he proceeds to slam his hand onto reanimation. And instantaneously, he seals Tobirama into a scroll. As he does this, Orochimaru is confused. How did you? As Naruto zooms forward towards him, he proceeds to immediately kick Orochimaru across the face. As he ends up calling Hashirama to attack Minato, Minato ends up teleporting above Hashirama by throwing kunai until he then teleports upward and slams a Rasengan into Hashirama before sealing him into another scroll as well. Naruto then would say, your reanimation taken down pretty easily at that. He then looks forward towards him. You thought you were gonna kill the third Hokage. Yeah, not gonna happen. Minato then proceeds to teleport right in front of Orochimaru. He slashes Orochimaru's throat and blood proceeds to pour out. Minato then proceeds to form a humongous Rasengan. Literally the Rasengan is bigger than the barrier itself. He slams the Rasengan directly into Orochimaru, and in an instant, Minato just proceeded to kill Orochimaru. Just like that, guys, Orochimaru's dead. Okay, ain't no coming back. Not only was he stunned at the fact that Minato just pulled up, but not only did he pull up, Minato in his base form, not in KCM, not in Sage mode, base Minato proceeded to murder this man. As this happens, we cut on over towards Minato. He walks off. He gets Hiruzen, makes sure Hiruzen's okay, but he walks off. With Minato walking off, Hiruzen will ask where he's going. Minato then explains that he wants to figure out there's a way for him to return to his adult body. And he would just say that's a little crazy. Why do you want to do that? He explains, well, for one, he's not a child. And he low-key don't want to wait this long. So he proceeds to leave. With him leaving and Hiruzen being alive, Minato proceeds to pull up on the Sound 4, who are all trying to run away from the village. But as he pulled up on him and Kabuto, he then looks forward. Leaving so soon, huh? They then proceed to turn, realizing that in the forest of death, and Minato is there. Minato Uzumaki. Minato then proceeds to have a red aura come off of him. Yeah, you guys aren't escaping. They then would say, please. As this happens, the spider guy proceeds to shoot several webs forward. With Minato dodging every single web, he then appears right in front of him. He's stunned as he proceeds to slash the guy across his throat. You're probably wondering, how did he do that so quickly? He didn't even throw any kunai. Minato has the entire forest of death marked. Everywhere in the forest and every single limb of every single tree is marked. Bro took precautions like a motherfucker. Every last limb of every last tree there is marked. So he just slit his throat instantly. As this happened, the Spider Boys proceeds to drop. Minato proceeds to zoom forward. He then proceeds to attack all the other members of the Sound Four, none of them being fast enough to react, as Minato easily took all of them down. He appeared right before Kabuto, realizing and remembering that Kabuto is actually capable of change. He knows that Orochimaru was also capable of change, but he didn't want to take the risk that Naruto was willing to take. So he let that man die. But he looks towards Kabuto, who in his eyes is just a child. He proceeds to place seals on him, and realizing that the Sound Four were also children, but they actually have a chance of surviving, so he ends up arresting all of them. He ends up, milding their wounds, making sure that all of them don't die, and they all end up being imprisoned. As they're all imprisoned, we cut on over towards him finally returning. Hiruzen ends up announcing towards the council that he needs to have a meeting with all of them. And as the meeting begins, the meeting ends up taking a crazy turn as Minato uses the transformation jutsu to appear in his adult form and teleports into the council room. As soon as he does so, the entire council is just stunned. Several of them proceed to perform release, trying to release themselves from a genjutsu that they aren't even in. Several of them would wonder, I'm so confused. How are you here right now? Aren't you dead? All of them would question. But Minato explains that for one, he isn't dead. He makes up a bullshit story, explaining that there are many ways to actually avoid the Reaper itself. And he explains that, well, Kushina was gonna die either way. She sacrificed her life and gave up her soul in the place of the Reaper. He explains that he couldn't die, he was simply put into a comatose state. Hiruzen, being the only person who was aware of this, kept his life a secret. Well, from there, he explained that he has entered a weakened form. The Reaper has taken many years off his life and actually reverted him back to the age of a child. He explains that it's possible, and that Minato Uzumaki is really, legitimately me, Minato Namikaze. He explains that he will remain in his adult form via the transformation jutsu. But if anyone were to even try attacking him, he may be in a child's body, but he is not weaker by any means than what he already was. He is the fourth Hokage. He is the current strongest Hokage. Not being aware of the fact that, well, actually, nah. I feel like KCM, specifically a version of Minato who can access KCM 2, and Kurama's avatar, plus this one has all the experience of his future self on top of the experience of having a few more years of living. I'm gonna put him above Hashirama, okay? And y'all are probably gonna be mad at me for that, but I don't really care, because this one he's already stronger than his canon self, okay, by so many leagues. He's stronger than full-fledged adult Minato reanimation KCM 2, and this is in his base form. So KCM 2, this version of Minato is way stronger than Hashirama. Plus, he finna get some Hashirama cells, because why not? But as he looks forward, he then explains that he's getting all of his things back. And him and Naruto are going to live out their lives peacefully. But for now, guys, we're going to do a time skip. That time skip being all the way into Shippuden. Or from here, Minato and Naruto actually, left with Jiraiya. Minato still allows Hiruzen to act as the Hokage, but of course, he will still act whenever he needs to act. He has a flying 30 guard marker there, so he can teleport there pretty much any time that he wants. He acts as the Hokage whenever Hiruzen does something stupid, or if he just gets a really bad feeling that feels like he needs to show up, he would show up, because, bro, Hiruzen literally cannot be trusted. He just can't be trusted. He literally cannot be trusted. So he watches this man, because, bro, you literally never know. So, yeah. With this being said, Minato and Naruto eventually return back to the Hidden Leaf Village. With Minato and finally Naruto having a mastered Sage Mode, we now cut on over towards when Naruto reunites with his team. He reunites with Team 7, and him, Sasuke, and Sakura still have the secondary belt test, but for now, we're not going to cover that. We're going to cover him returning to Hinata. Naruto shows up to Hinata at her home. He has flowers, he has candy, he asks her out on a date. Well, from there, Naruto and Hinata will have a very good moment. Well, we cut over towards Minato. Minato proceeds to wonder, like, if he can bring back Kushina. But he realizes that it's not going to work out. No matter how things work, this body is technically her child. He would sigh in sadness, knowing that he cannot get Kushina back. But then he would think, Kyrene, that one Uzumaki girl. He remembered that there's another lab of Orochimaru with several other children still in there. The Taka. He proceeds to instantly leave the village, going in search of finding this lab. And of course, he successfully finds it pretty easily. And when he finds it, he ends up freeing all of them. And he ends up bringing them back to the Leaf Village, including Kyrene. When he brings Kyrene back to the Hidden Leaf Village, he ends up falling in love with Kyrene. Kyrene ends up falling in love with Minato, blah, blah, blah. They have a date together. And now we're just going to cut on over towards Naruto. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura are all in the forest where they wait on Kakashi. Kakashi ends up arriving. When he ends up arriving, Naruto and Sasuke will look forward. They end up devising a plan. My bad. As Naruto and Sasuke devised a plan, they ended up devising a plan with Sakura alongside them. Mind you, there is no Tsunade being within the Leaf Village this time around. But for the sake of the story, and just because I want Sakura to still be that bitch, we're just going to go ahead on and just make it to where Minato actually went and he personally spoke with Tsunade himself. Speaking with Tsunade, he basically begged her to return to the village, and he explains that, like, she can just be the Hokage, but she don't got to do none of that work. He explains that he'll do all the work, Hiruzen will do some of the work, and just like, basically, she'll just be the face. She'll be the face, they'll be the actual people working against the Hokage, because they need the village to believe that, and they need everyone to believe that, like, Hiruzen Ash retired, because they don't want an old man to still be acting as the Hokage as old as he is, because people are going to underestimate them, just like they underestimate the Stone Village. Tsunade would agree as she returned back to the Hidden Leaf Village, where from there she still ends up taking a liking to Sakura. She still ends up training Sakura, so yeah, we still get powerful, strong, super cool medical ninja Sakura, so yeah. Anyways, time skip, baby. So Naruto and Sasuke rushes forward at the same exact time, both towards Kakashi. As they see them charging in towards Kakashi, Kakashi would charge in towards them as well. As this happens, Naruto proceeds to immediately whip hand signs. Fire style, blazing eruption, Naruto would say. As he says this, a literal circle would form around Kakashi. As this happens, flames would explode. Kakashi proceeds to jump upwards. He jumps out of the flaming circle just to see Naruto right in front of him. Naruto then proceeds to form a blazing Rasengan as he throws it towards Kakashi. Kakashi proceeds to dodge to the side. As this happens, Naruto proceeds to weave hand signs, summon multiple shadow clones. Each shadow clone then will weave hand signs and fire a fire style fireball jutsu and a wind style wind bullet jutsu. As the jutsus all come charging in towards Kakashi, Kakashi's eyes were wide like, oh shit! He proceeds to jump out of the way, dodging both the fire style fire bullet and the wind style wind bullet. As this happens, Kakashi proceeds to weave hand signs as he calls upon multiple shadow clones as well as his ninja hounds. Each of them will charge in towards Sasuke and Naruto. Sasuke proceeds to slice each of the hounds down as they all proceed to poof, where there Sasuke will rush forward. As lightning style will cover his blade, he proceeds to appear right in front of Kakashi as he goes in for a slash. Kakashi ends up ducking the slash just to be smacked across the face by Sakura and sent flying. Sakura then proceeds to rush forward towards him. She rocks up her fist and Kakashi, and she sends him flying. As this happens, Sakura proceeds to run forward, and Naruto runs right alongside her. As this happens, Naruto proceeds to form a Rasengan, and Sakura proceeds to have chakra explode from her fist. Sasuke then charges forward, forming a Chidori. As this happens, all three of them then proceed to rush forward towards him. At the same exact time, all go again for hit him with a mean slash. Kakashi proceeds going, whoa, you win! As all three of them will cease their attacks. He's like, you're trying to fucking kill me? What the hell? And I just said, isn't it like the whole point of the bell test to try to kill you? And he's like, yeah, but you're not literally supposed to try to kill me. You are supposed to go in for the kill, not try to fucking kill me. They didn't said, but that's what going in for the kill means. He didn't look at them, bro. Y'all were going to kill me. All three of y'all using those jutsus, that could have killed me. Hell, one of them could have killed me. All three would have killed me. Well, fine. We're figuring out time skip. Naruto and Team 7 were there called into the Hokage's office. As we're called into the Hokage's office, they are then told to go rescue Gaara. As Team 7 is still told to go rescue Gaara, Minato then will walk outward, explaining that, well, he can get them there way, way faster. He explained that Naruto put a marker onto Gaara many years ago. Naruto explained that, yeah, he did, but he's pretty sure it disappeared by now. But Minato then explains that the markers never disappear. He then explains that Naruto, you can still teleport to him, and he's going to help him do that, because Naruto isn't really perfect when it comes to using the Flying Thunder God. Minato places his hand onto Naruto's shoulder. Naruto then proceeds to channel Minato's chakra. As this happens, Minato and Naruto simultaneously will weave hand signs. Along with the rest of Team 7 holding on to them, they proceed to teleport to Gaara, who's actually inside of a cave, getting the One-Tails distracted from him at the same exact moment when all of them appeared. As each of them appeared, Minato and Naruto simultaneously would form two giant Rasengans. As they jump into the air and proceed to throw the Rasengans downward. As they would do so, Naruto and Minato both would jump backwards, sliding across the ground. They then would look forward. As each of them looked forward, they would see, well, Deidara and Sasori. Sasori and Deidara would both just look forward confused. Minato then would say, Sasori and Deidara of the Akatsuki. And they then would just look at him. And you are? My name is Minato Uzumaki, son of the 4th Hokage. As he says this, they then will just tilt their heads. Oh, you're the Nine-Tails. Oh shit, both of the Nine-Tails are here. Good. As Deidara proceeds to throw down multiple bombs towards them, Minato and Naruto will proceed to dodge all of them, with Sasuke and Sakura either punching theirs away, Sakura punching hers away, creating shockwaves from her punches, and Sasuke slicing his bombs away, with Minato and Naruto teleporting out of the way. Naruto proceeds to rush for it. He forms a Rasengan. He jumps upward into the air and goes in to throw the Rasengan towards Sasori. Sasori's puppet would appear right in front of it as it ends up like shooting down multiple bullets towards them. Naruto proceeds to dodge out of the way. As he ends up jumping forward, he ends up going in for a Rasengan. Said Rasengan ends up being blocked by another one of Sasori's puppets. But instead of it being blocked, it destroyed it. And Naruto charges forward. He proceeds to go in for a punch. As this happens, Sasori proceeds to lift up his hand, where several more puppets begin to form. All his puppets begin to rush forward towards Naruto. Naruto then proceeds to explode forward in chakra, forming 3 tails of Kurama's chakra. He rushes forward. From there, he tears apart every single one of the clones. Naruto charges forward, and Minato charges forward towards Deidara. Deidara and Minato begins to have a hand-to-hand combat battle, and it really isn't much. Minato is absolutely folding Deidara, and he's just throwing him all around the place. For one, Minato teleports all around him, kicks him, punches him, hits him with a Rasengan after a Rasengan, and just teleports all around him. He's doing this man so freaking dirty. Literally everything he tries throwing at Minato's able to evade it, and he just does him bad. He then proceeds to jump backward, gets beside Naruto as he would weave hand signs, and then Minato would form a huge Rasengan within his hand. He slams it directly into Deidara, where from there he would tell Sasuke to finish him off. Sasuke rushes forward, where from there he would slash Deidara clean open. Blood would explode out everywhere as Deidara proceeds to tell him yeah, fuck that. And he proceeds to tell them he's finna kill them all. If he die, they die. And bro proceeds to try nuking himself. As he does his, Minato teleports him, Naruto, Sasuke, Kakashi. He teleports everybody up out of there. As they teleport out of there, they actually successfully teleport out of there and teleport Gaara's body straight to the Sand Village. As this happened, they show up, and the Sand siblings aren't even aware of the fact they just showed up. And when they show up, they already got Gaara's body, and he just throws him there. He just gives him to the Sand Village. And they're like, but you didn't even come to us in order for us to take you there. Then they explain to honestly speaking, they didn't really need the help. You're welcome. Kazekage retrieved. As this happens, they then explain that Gaara is still alive. They got there in time before the entire One-Tails could be taken. Well, from here we now time skip. Naruto and Minato get back to the village. As they does so, Minato ends up having a conversation with Naruto. Well, from there, he revealed everything to Naruto, the truth. And Naruto punches him in his stomach. Not only that's the case, Naruto smacks him across the face, and Naruto just starts going ham onto Minato. As it happened, Minato and Naruto like have a little squabble, and it's more like Naruto just beating on Minato because for one, that gotta be bullshit. That is, of course, until Minato transfers the memories, the knowledge, and all the knowledge that he ends up slowly, like, you know, that he ends up doing the same shit he did to Jiraiya, he did to Kakashi, he did to Hiruzen. Like, he literally like made him see everything. As just happens, the other half of Kurama within Naruto seen it all as well. And well, just like that, Kurama, the other half of Kurama, befriended Naruto, just as Minato's other half befriended him. As this happens, he then explains that he wants to do a little bit of training so that Naruto and him can master their KCM forms, or more or less so Naruto can master his. And he wants him to get everything. So from here, the little training, little skip will begin, where Naruto ends up mastering all the abilities that he ends up eventually developing in the future. Developing a perfect Rasen Shuriken, developing KCM 1, 2, 3, developing Kurama Avatar. Like, he did all this very quickly. But as this happens, like normal, pain still ends up attacking. But y'all, there's no longer any point of covering anything that really happens in this story anymore. Because Minato and Naruto both having KCM, they absolutely dismantle pain and all the paths of pain, as well as finding Nagato and Konan, as well as Jiraiya being alive in this timeline. Yeah, they're actually able to convince Nagato to actually work with them. Nagato ends up using the Rinne Rebirth Jutsu, sacrificing himself, of course, and in the end, the Rinnegan were taken. With the Rinnegan being taken, we now time skip. Obito eventually declares war upon all the four nations in order to retrieve the tailed beast. But as this happens, Minato, who just so happens to be there right along Tsunade as one of her guards, he proceeds to have a small battle with Obito. And well, Minato destroys him. I mean, he was already able to destroy him to begin with. And this is a stronger Minato, a faster Minato, a smarter Minato, just a much better Minato. He destroyed Obito even via him using Kamui. Obito loses. With Obito losing this battle, he ends up unmasking him as well as placing chakra suppressants on him. And from here, this is where we're going to be ending off this video. I'm not really good when it comes to endings, as y'all can see, but to be honest, y'all, there really isn't much to really cover. Minato is just way stronger, and Minato was already going to defeat Obito. I mean, he already kicked his ass before, and this version of Obito, like, he isn't aware of the fact this is the same guy. So, with Obito being defeated, the Zetsus are never activated. Kabuto already being on their side, the reanimation jutsu is never cast. So with that being said, we now end this video off. Honestly, I kind of posted this one out of like a little bit of boredom. So, you know, I got another movie coming out, which is what if Deku had a barrier quirk, or what if Naruto had fierce wings. It's up to y'all, to be completely honest. I'm just trying to get a video done. So with that being said, guys, I'm out.